Good morning, everybody. Today I want to talk with you, whoever this applies to, and it doesn't just have to be living with cancer. It can be living with any disease that is life-threatening, terminal. It's not going to go away. Um, I think I kind of figured something out this week. I had my oncologist appointment on Tuesday, and I really didn't know what to expect, like with my tumor markers. For me, my tumor markers have been a good sign of what's going on with my cancer. So, meaning you take these blood tests and they measure the tumor markers in your body, and it's a pretty good sign of, if your cancer is spreading, if it's stable, whatever. For me, it's been proven that it works. So, for the last 5 or 6 years, my tumor markers have been slowly climbing, very slowly. But a normal tumor marker range is around in your low 20s, 30s, maybe 38 tops is what I'm guessing. I read different things, so that's just a generalization. My tumor markers, when I first started treatment 13 years ago, gosh, I think they were like 27. I got down to like 27. When I started with this new oncologist a year ago in June, my tumor markers were, I believe, 220, 240. So they were getting up there, and it took many years for them to get up there. Many years. I probably have been rising tumor markers, like I said, for the last 5, 6, 7 years. And so something was going on in the bone area. When they scanned me, they found out the areas that it looked like the tumors were active. Both rib cages, my spine area, sacrum, pelvic, that kind of stuff. And especially troublesome was my right thigh, the long bone. I'm not sure what that is, but that long bone in your thigh, that one was not looking too well. The right rib cage was not looking too well. The right shoulder was not looking very well. Now, weird, because I had no pain in the right shoulder. I had it in the left shoulder. The left shoulder shows severe arthritis, but the pain was coming from the arthritis, not the cancer. So weird. So anyway, when I first got my radiation, I took radiation in October. When I went back to get my tumor markers, I completed radiation at the end of October. I got my tumor markers checked, I believe, in October. It's about 3 months. They went down 20 points. They felt that was great. I was kind of like, really? That's all? I went through all that with radiation and it only came down 20 points. So I wasn't that impressed. But still, going down is a good thing. So I just had my oncologist appointment on Tuesday. So it's been another, I believe it's been 4 months since I've seen them. They came down 110 points. So I am now below 100. I have not been this low in years. I still am not normal, but I am way down. He doesn't know if it's the treatment or the radiation. I'm going to guess it's the radiation. I just think it's the radiation. So at this point, 6 months in after radiation, that's about when you see the max of what the radiation is going to do, he explained to me. So I don't know at this point if I'm going to continue going down or if I'm going to slowly start creeping back up. But that's where I'm at today. I'm doing very well. I feel pretty good. I feel like I finally got the sepsis and the radiation out of my system. But in the meantime, I kind of was thinking about, my 13-year journey. My 13-year journey will be September 22nd or whatever it'll be, and then I'll be starting into year 14. But I started thinking, like, I remember when I first, because he was talking to me about, time, like if this radiation gets me 5 more years, and then with new treatments coming out, and I looked at him and I said, I am now 66. Time isn't in the forefront of my mind anymore. I'm not ready to go home yet, but soon. I would say that, I don't know, maybe early 70s, depending on how I'm feeling. I don't care to live much longer than that. I mean, you add in what's going on in this world, just that, and the fact that I've been battling for so long. I just don't have that in my mind like I did when I got diagnosed at 53. At 53, all I wanted was time. I still had kids around that, I still had a couple at home. there's just so much going on. Grandkids were little. My biggest thing was I wanted my grandchildren to know me. They'll all know me now. And so it was in the forefront of my mind when I got diagnosed at 53. I just felt I was too young to think about death. And so I never asked God for the cure. I asked God for time. I have always just asked God for time. Another thing I want to point out about living with cancer that I think for me has been successful. This isn't to knock anyone that chooses to live their life differently. This is just what's working for me. Which, with living with stage 4 metastatic breast cancer, given a diagnosis of 6 to 12 months, and being here 13 years later, I kind of think I have a right now. I've earned the right to say, maybe we ought to try this. Maybe we ought to look at it like this. So remember, I'm going by what's happened to me. I was given 6 to 12 months in 2011. I feel like it's not tooting my horn. I feel like I now have the wisdom of living with a disease so long that maybe I can share. We've been maybe looking at this a little bit. I don't want to say wrong, but maybe we should look at it a different way. Let's not say wrong, because then that's telling other people who choose to walk their cancer path differently than mine. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to step on anyone's toes. I just want to say that now that I've got this under my belt, I feel like I have the right to say, maybe we ought to do this. I never thought of a cure when I first got diagnosed, and that was the big thing. Everybody was like, oh, we got to find the cure. We got to find the cure. They want their mom alive. I get all that. I never thought about the cure. I thought about time. I wanted time. Okay, so I'm 13 years in, heading into year 14 soon. And when I left the oncologist's office on Tuesday, I just remember thinking maybe the secret to living with cancer successfully, to beating cancer, to, quote, curing a life with cancer, isn't curing it, but getting time. We all, for sure, can get time when we're diagnosed with a fatal or a terminal illness. We can get time. Like you'll read stories of people with ALS that they're supposed to be dead in 2 years, and they're alive and thriving 13, 14 years later. I don't know what they've done. I don't understand that disease. I know it's bad, but I know, like me, there's some rare people out there that they just keep ticking. So what I'm trying to say, and I'm not getting it quite out right, is maybe we shouldn't be looking at cures, but we should be looking at time. When you get diagnosed and a doctor says to you, I'm giving you 6 to 12 months, I'm giving you a year, I'm giving you 2 weeks. First of all, they shouldn't say that to you, because God is the author of life and death, and we don't know how our bodies are going to respond. And that was the biggest thing my oncologist said to me after I was given the 6 to 12 month prognosis. When I met the oncologist, that was one of the very first things he said to me. We don't know how your body's going to respond to treatment. We have to wait and see. That is huge, because some women will start a treatment and their cancer will go nuts. It won't do anything, and they'll just bounce from treatment to treatment to treatment. Others, like me, will start a treatment and my body just responded in a positive way. But I also never had the mindset of, I want the cure. My mindset was, I want time. So I'm thinking, in order to live with cancer successfully, we shouldn't be focused on that cure anymore. Number one, I don't believe we're ever going to see a cure, because it's too much of a moneymaker. And yes, I am a conspiracy theorist, and I don't hide that at all. I do believe that the cancer world has created a job for many people in research, treatment, whatever. So they have a forever job, a pretty high paying forever job off the backs of us. However, that doesn't change the fact that with each new treatment or plan or whatever, it can give us time. It can't give us the cure, but it can give us time. And for probably, I'm willing to bet the majority of us, that's all we want. Like I truly never thought of being cured. I mean, there's times I sit back and I say, boy, would it be nice to not have to go for doctor's appointments or scans or be on this daily pill that does strange things to me. Yeah, that would be great. And I am eventually going to get there, because there is going to come a day where I say the length of life isn't as important as my quality. And so I don't know how many more treatments I'll do, but I do know it's coming where I will say, I'm done. I'm off of everything. I'm just going to go live. And when I had my oncologist appointment on Tuesday and he gave me the news, and that's good news in my world, I looked at him and I said, I'm not coming back here for 6 months. I'm going to live. I'm going to live my life. I don't care what I have. If something comes up, I'll call, but I will be back in 6 months. I really need to live. And, it sounds awful selfish, I think. Maybe it don't, but to me it does a little. Because I've kind of had it good for the last few years. And there's been times in my walk with cancer I haven't had it good. I almost died in January. I almost died several times during this cancer walk. I have suffered. And then I've had times of good. But I've always had appointments. I've always had treatments. I've always had scans. I've always had these things on my mind. Oh, I got a plan. If I want to do this, I got to remember I got to be back for scans. Or if I want to do this, I got to take these pills. Oh, we're going to go somewhere. Make sure you got my cancer meds. I'm tired of it. I know it doesn't make sense to anybody. It only makes sense to those of us living with diseases where you have to live by these prescriptions, doctors, appointments, whatever. So that's exactly what I said to him. I'm going to go live. Now, I'm still taking my meds, but I wouldn't even set up a follow-up appointment. I told him I'll call when I'm ready mentally. And this doctor is totally okay with that. He gets it. I have my first granddaughter getting married in July. I didn't have that as a hope or a dream because, when I got diagnosed, that wasn't even in the realm. She was so young then, but then when she got older and got engaged, I was like, gosh, it was always on my mind. Am I going to be here? Am I going to be alive? Not only am I going to be alive, but am I going to feel well when I go to her wedding? I want to feel well enough that I can dance in my scooter and I can enjoy the food and I can laugh and cry and whatever. Makes me want to cry, but this is my first grandchild's wedding. More than likely the only one. I do have another one coming up that's only about 2 years difference in her. So I may see one more. But the younger grandchildren, I won't be here. I just don't think I will. And I'm fine with that. But because they all know me and they'll all remember me. But this got important to me about 2 years ago. I was like, holy crap, I've made it this long. Am I going to make it to her wedding? Am I going to feel well? Am I going to look okay? I don't want to be, in the pictures down the road when she's married 20 years. Oh, look at grandma. She was sitting there, with no hair and sick and in her wheelchair. I didn't want that either. I know it sounds awful, but I didn't want that. If I was in that condition, yes, I would go and I would do the best I could. But I guess I wanted a little more. So it looks like I'm going to be okay. I mean, it's May this week. I've got 2 months. I have been losing hair, but I think it's slowed down. And even if I lose it, I feel okay. So that's the most important thing. So if I lose my hair, I probably will go get a wig for the wedding. But anyway, I feel okay. And it looks like I'm going to make it to this wedding. I'm going to feel okay. I'm going to look okay. It's huge to me. The only ones that would really understand it are those that are living with terminal illnesses that can take you out. And so I'm just like over the moon. When I left my oncologist's office on Tuesday, I was like stunned and in shock. And I don't understand that because I get quite a bit of good news, but I was like 13 years and I'm getting good news still. What a gift. So that got me thinking, what have I done these 13 years? I've asked God for time, and that's all I focused on is time. I've been humble. I've been humble through this entire journey. I remember when I first got diagnosed and people wanted to get me shirts and things that said cancer picked the wrong, the bitch word, or cancer ain't got nothing on me. And I said, no, that's not the direction I want to go. I didn't even want to wear pink. When people bought me the pink things, I put them aside or got rid of them. I don't like the color pink. That signifies cancer. It was just, to me, it was a reminder of what happened in my life, my diagnosis, my prognosis, and, what had how my life had been so abruptly taken away from me. And so it wasn't a good thing. So no, I wasn't going to celebrate pink. I wasn't going to also be the one, oh, cancer picked the wrong bee. I'm going to beat this. I knew the minute he told me 6 to 12 months, I knew when I learned what stage 4 meant and metastatic meant, I knew I was up against a powerful thing that could take me out at any time. So I had the utmost respect for cancer. I still do, always have. I've always had the mindset of be humble, be grateful for anything you get. But this is something that can maim you, kill you. Being in my bones, it can cripple me, which it kind of has. It can take away my ability to walk, which it has. Bones can break, things can fracture. This is from my head to my feet. So I took this serious, and I still do. I don't play with this. If someone wanted to give me something, cancer picked the wrong thing, or, whatever, I don't want it. I want nothing to do with it. So those are the two biggest things that I would say has helped me live with cancer, beat cancer, cure cancer. Respect for my disease, humility. That's all in the same thing, because I said two. And then asking for time. We can pretty much be guaranteed when we get a disease. Yes, some go quick. But most of the time, we can be guaranteed we're going to get time. So let's focus on that instead of focusing on, well, I want to be cured. Let's focus on, I want time. I want time for whatever's important to you. If you want to travel, if you want to spend more time with family, if you want to spend more time with you, if you want to quit your job and write a book or whatever. Time means so much. So many different things for us, each of us. For me, it just meant more time with my family. At the time, I was 53. I was in a job that I despised. And so for me, I took it as, okay, God has given me an opportunity now where I don't have to work. I can get a little bit of an income, and I can enjoy my home and my family. I can enjoy things. So I did start traveling. I applied for grants, whatever I could get. My kids did a couple fundraisers, and I took some wonderful trips in the early years of my cancer, and, a couple later on. But that's what the gift of time has given me. There is no cure. There's not going to be a cure for my disease. And I remember people telling me that, oh, we're going to have a cure. No, we're not. It's a moneymaker. It's a job. It's kind of like the job I was in, working in, with neglected and abused children, CHIPS. It's a job that'll never go away because they don't want it to go away. They don't want people healed and well, because then that'll put them out of a job, So you got to have kids in foster care. You got to have kids that are abused and neglected, because it gives us a job, right? That's how I looked at it. Same with cancer. Same with ALS. I mean, look how much money they've rolled in all these 50 plus years. Komen. Initially, when I started, I didn't have insurance, and Komen said they would cover my health insurance for a year. That's a whole nother long story. I did have insurance through my job, but I needed something else. And they said they would cover my insurance for a year. So I was like, oh my God, okay, this is off my back. I don't have to worry about this, because at that time I was getting a lot of treatment, a lot of scans. It was very pricey. Like 3 months in, I get a letter. They're done. They're out of money, blah, 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 whatever. They were never out of money. But that's a whole nother story. So they don't provide anything else, for cancer patients, and especially metastatic. It's such a harsh diagnosis. All these 13 years later, about a year ago, they started providing money for, I'm not sure if it's regular, that's not the right word either, but those of us living with early stage cancer and those of us living with late stage cancer, they now have a fund where you can apply once a year, and they give you this grant, and it's pretty significant. It's $750 for metastatic patients. And so once a year, I can apply for this, and I'm always eligible. And what's so great about this is they allow us to do whatever we see fit with the money. We don't have to show them that we have a house payment or a electric bill that we're behind on, or medical bills. They send us the $750, or they deposit in our accounts, and we do as we see fit. Well, anyone living with cancer knows, you're not going to take $750 and go buy yourself a diamond watch. You need it. You're going to pay medical bills. This time I paid medical bills. And so I was looking at quite a bit, several thousand in medical bills for the first time in my walk with cancer in 13 years. And through the Komen grant and through another grant I applied for, as of last week, I have no medical bills. I cannot tell you what a relief that is, because my budget for medical bills is only about $100 a month. How do I pay 20 different people with my $100? $10? I don't know. But anyway, as of right now, I think all I'm going to owe is about $40. So I'm good. And that's another reason why I wanted to not see my oncologist for 6 months, because I want to enjoy this break of medical bills, because they will bury you. And there isn't any help out there. I don't want my kids doing any more fundraisers or anything. I'm done. So anyway, I don't know how I got to that topic, but gosh, I lost my train of thought. So I don't know where the heck I was. I'll just go back to this. The two things. Living with the cure for cancer, the cure for living with cancer. Respect your illness. This would go for any illness, ALS, anything. Respect what you're facing, because these diagnoses will maim us, cripple us, kill us. Eventually, they're going to get us. I know, I've always said, cancer will get me. But now that I'm getting older, unless something else takes me. But have respect for your disease. Ask God for time. Time just gives us so much. I mean, I can honestly say, even now, if my cancer just went and exploded today in my body and I were to die and not make it to my granddaughter's wedding, I would be sad that I wouldn't be here for a wedding. But overall, I can smile when I think about what I've done the last 13 years. I don't even think about all of the harsh things. Like, I keep telling everybody, oh, I've had it easy. And then I'm like, wait a minute. Remember when I was in the hospital for this? Remember when I had this? Remember when I almost died here? Remember I almost died there? Remember when I had all these sores on my body that were draining black blood, and, and I had kidney disease, stage 4, next was dialysis? I have suffered. I don't seem to remember that as much as the joy, the trips, the laughter, the dinners out for each good news. Like each good news, every time I get good news, I do something. This time I bought myself a patriotic dog from Hobby Lobby and put him out on the front of my house. Every time I look at that dog, it's a reminder to me, tumor markers went down 110 points. Nobody else will understand it, but I do. So that's what time gives us. Time gives us these wonderful, precious things that we can take with us when we're laying our head down and getting ready to go home. My grandchildren, my children, will have all these memories of their mom living with cancer for so long. And you know what? I've been successful at it. I'm not saying it's easy, but I've been successful at it. So that was what I wanted to share with you, is let's not think about a cure for our diseases anymore. Those of us who have to take this ride in life. And I'm talking anything, ALS, cancer, anything that's a terminal illness. Don't focus on the cure. Focus on time and respect it. And then get back to living. I'm going to live for the next 6 months. I'm going to enjoy the hell out of my life. And even when I go see my regular family doctor in 2 weeks, I get more bad news from him than I do from my oncologist now. And I told him, I said, I'm more afraid to come to you than my oncologist. Oh, you got diabetes now. Oh, you got this. I'm tired of it. But I'm going to have the same attitude. My hair's, you can see it's getting fly away again. I'm going to have the same attitude when I see him in 2 weeks. I'm going to look at him and say, I'm not coming back for 6 months. I'm going to live. I have a granddaughter's wedding to go to. I want to take a trip this summer if I can. I want to enjoy the warm, sunny days. I want to go lay by the pool of my resort. I want to take golf cart rides. I want to smell my flowers. I just want to live. I don't want to think about these appointments. I hate it when they send me emails, register before you come. I'm not doing that shit. They're in my email. They're on my phone. They text me. We just want to remind you of this appointment. I open up my email. Please pre-register. These people are everywhere. That's a whole nother topic. Maybe I will talk about that next time. So I'm going to end it now because this went longer than I thought. But I'm off to celebrate a little bit more this weekend. I do plan on going to a nice meal at some point. Today I'm going to go work on some jewelry that I need help with. But focus on that. If you're living with a disease that is really harsh and life-threatening, time and respect it. Please leave me a comment. If you're living with something, how you're doing it, what you think about my ideas, am I off the wall, whatever. Please share my videos, like my videos. I still want to grow my channel. It's been stagnant for a while. It is what it is. I want to keep coming. If you have anything else you'd like me to talk about, leave that in the comments as well. I hope everyone has a great weekend, and I will see you soon.